Today is the beginning of an era of sorts. This is going to be the beginning of May. The Force be with you, I guess. May the Force be with you. What am I going to do? I am going to review a Star Wars figure for every day in May that I typically upload, with maybe an exception here or there. But for the most part, yeah, we're going to just do a Star Wars review every time for May. That might get a bit controversial to the analytics. Maybe even the people watching don't really care for Star Wars. But I have a lot of Star Wars figures, and honestly, I want to review them. And, well, this idea came to me the other day, and I went, it's a good idea in my opinion. So let's get to it. This is Star Wars Black Series Captain Rex. This is the reissue. And, yeah, it looks good in the box. Number 59. If you don't know Rex, there's the words to tell you about Rex. That is Rex. Let's break him out. And so here we have Captain Rex out of his packaging, and this thing looks phenomenal. Now, this was one of the figures that might have started the Black Series kick. I'm not gonna lie to you. He was one of the ones, because I had the whole thought of, I own some Black Series, but none of them are characters I particularly care about. Rex is my favorite Star Wars character, so it only made sense to pick up Rex, right? And I got Ahsoka with him, and I got a Commando droid, because they go with Rex. And from there, I just spiraled out of control, going, I want the Bad Batch now, and then after the Bad Batch, it just became a whole thing. But Rex started it all, and honestly, I don't know if I got any better than Rex. By God, Rex is super good. This version looks great. Obviously, there's some that are better, but Rex is just great. The paint on him is great. They have a nice kind of dry brushing on him. Looking at the arms, you can kind of see that bit of like brown splotches going down. The torso, you could see it looks like dirt and grime. And then on the legs, particularly the left leg, got really coated in dirt, but the right leg's pretty barren. Some people might not like this, but I like the look of this a lot. It looks like he's been through it. He's been going through a battle, and he's still going through a battle. And yeah, he looks particularly good, honestly. Just the dirt and grime, everything there. He does have his tally marks, of course, for his Phase 2 armor, which would be on the arms, as you can see, a bit on the legs, right there. And then up on the helmet, of course, there's a couple on each side. So yeah, a lot of tallies. And as I mentioned, Rex is probably one of my favorite characters, if not my favorite Star Wars character, just because Clone Wars. He's the most prominent clone of the bunch, easily. He is the main clone, and that's not the end of his road, because he shows up in Rebels as well. And he also shows up in Bad Batch, so there's a lot of places to find Rex. But this is my favorite iteration, Phase 2 Rex. Just everything about the armor looks great. Again, that wash looks really nice. Just all the detailing on him looking phenomenal. Even the body, I'm pretty sure, is unique. And I know someone's going to say, why? The weld lines. So for those who don't know why Rex has these orange and silver stripes going on up on his helmet and his chest piece, it is because in the Star Wars canon, he cut apart his Phase 1 armor and welded it to the parts of Phase 2 to make it more comfortable. So that is why, if you look at Rex's visor, it is a completely different visor from any other Phase 2 clone trooper. He has a Phase 1 visor instead of the Phase 2. And then for the chest piece, it's a Phase 1 chest piece, even though usually I don't ever see the difference myself, personally. Let's just, we'll get a Phase 2 clone out just to show it. But for comparison's sake, there is a generic Phase 2 clone trooper, and you can definitely see the differences. The chest piece, not as much, but the helmet, 100% with the visor, it's really noticeable, because the visor shape is completely different between the two generations. But yeah, that is the differences between that, I guess. And again, looks great. His accessories are pretty solid as well, being you get 2 DC-17 pistols and a helmet. That's it. That's all you get. Pistols, of course, holster, but he has the classic clone issue of only one trigger finger. because didn't think that through, despite most of the early clones being clone commanders with pistols. How did that happen? But what I did is I came in and I cut free his trigger finger on his left hand, which sometimes works. He does hold it much better now, though. And it looks pretty good with the two, obviously. Because before it would, like, stick up and it just didn't look great, you know? But this just looks 10 times better. And he also has a cloth comma, which I forgot to kind of mention. Also, look at the dirt. Look at that. I don't know what they did to this left side, but they obliterated it compared to the right. Look at how clean the right is compared to the left. He really fell down. But again, that's good. They're just the generic pistols. We've seen them before with Echo and 5s and all of them. They all come with them. It's probably the most common clone gun. And there's his helmet, which is removable. And, of course, there's his head, which is probably the best Temuera Morrison head of the bunch. 10 times better than the new Rex that's knocking about. It looks really good. It's just Temuera Morrison with a blonde buzz cut. Looks really good, honestly. Like, really good. Surprisingly so. And then the helmet, yeah, I mean, that looks really good as well. As I said, look at the lines. The weathering is still all over the place. It still looks really good. I'm trying to get it to focus here. It still looks really, really nice. And then, of course, the rangefinder does go down. And that also has a bit of paint on it as well. This is a gunmetal and then a kind of black at the top. The one thing to note with the helmet, though, unfortunately, is you kind of have to put it over the chin. Sometimes it'll come out through the bottom. That was kind of one of those things with the early clones, because a lot of the early commanders don't have removable helmets. I think he might be the only one that is with a removable helmet. Because obviously with the new guys, you can kind of still see it, but it's not as bad. It's not nearly as bad moving it. But I will say there's a lot of nice things. Although one thing to note here with the new clones, Rex is visibly shorter. Visibly short. Like, he is a lot shorter than these other clones. And I think it's just where the head sits, maybe. Actually, no, I don't know where it goes wrong. But somewhere, he is a lot shorter. And he's a lot stumpier than these other guys. The new guys. And I mean, again, looks great. Nothing really wrong here. And his articulation's really all we got left to cover here. So we do have a ball joint in the head, which of course is going to be a little bit restricted. And if you start moving the head, the chin's going to come out. That's just how it's going to be. Forward, back. Outward works like a dream. Something that the Gen 2 clones should have learned from. I like these big shoulder pads as well. I think these look really good. I thought I was going to be more of the small shoulder pad guy with the Gen 2 clones, but no, I like these big ones from the Gen 1s. The waist kind of moves a little. It's not great. The rotation's good, but the just ab crunch isn't there at all. Hands rotate. Double elbow, which one of the few. I think it's only him and Bly that really have the good double elbow range, because Wolf cannot do it at all. And then his hand articulation. Left goes in and out. And I believe right goes up and down. Forward and back the legs. He has one of those funny legs, though, that happens to go out. There we have that. A double knee, just like so. And then, of course, forward and back and a ankle tilt. And that is it for the Captain. And what are my final thoughts here for Rex? As mentioned, I think that this guy is a phenomenal figure. There's not really much wrong with him, but there is at the same time. The dry brushing, as much as I do like it, I will say is a little problematic in spots. Like I said, my left leg, he really took a fall on that left leg. It's actually kind of bad how much dry brushing is on that leg. The other thing is just an old clone issue, which is the hand. I hate that. A lot of them come with other guns, but Rex seems to have gotten skipped due to his helmet removability. Like I mentioned, Commander Fox, Commander Bly, Commander Cody even, most of the clone commanders that came out around that time didn't have a removable helmet. Rex did. I feel like they genuinely had to put that one in there. But there's a lot of nice things about him, and there's not really a lot wrong here. And again, it's also down to personal things. The cloth comma, I like it, but I find myself gravitating to the rubber one. But that's just how this guy was made at the time, was with the cloth one. Like I said, this is a earlier figure. He's from the red and black boxes. That's, like, prior to 2020. He is a bit older. Again, it's a reissue. They've been reissuing them lately. Like Plo Koon, like I reviewed prior. They've been reissuing, and that's not a problem. I like that they've been doing that. Kind of defeats the purpose of Archive, though. I guess Archive's dead, I would assume, if they're doing just straight reissues now. But I think this is a great pickup if you can find it. It's an amazing figure. And again, if you do want another Rex that isn't this one, the Phase 1 is out there now, so you can genuinely try to find him. But I think this is the one. This is the one I like the most, and this is my Captain Rex. And as far as it goes, I'm not going to give a rating because it's going to be 5 out of 5. I can't knock him on one finger. I can't. He is a 5 out of 5, and I gave 2 5 out of 5s before this. So note, he is a 5 out of 5 off the books. But this has been my review of Star Wars Black Series Captain Rex. It's been Ilth Out Elite signing out.